Amsonia, the company that is located in Tulip in the northwest of Holland, surrounded by the most fertile clay soils, with a daily fresh wind from the sea that keeps our crops healthy. Since we started our company in 2002, we offer a wide range of flower bulbs for the professional flower grower. Our main products are flower bulbs from tulips and lilium. But we also supply flower bulbs from hyacinths, crocus, narcissus, iris and gladiolus. Besides top quality flower bulbs, we also believe that service to our customers is an essential part of our job. We try to guide our customers in the total process, from transport out of Holland up to production of flowers in your local greenhouses. This animation video will be about our main product, tulips. Step by step, we like to take you through the full process, pointing out the main issues. If questions may arise while watching the video, please do not hesitate to contact us for additional information. Selection, storage and packing. The first step is to select the right varieties. Amsonia offers more than 400 varieties. Not all varieties are suitable for forcing. Varieties may differ in length, shape, speed of growth, amount and position of leaves, preparation period of the bulbs, etc. Amsonia can help you make the right selection based on your personal wishes and growing circumstances. After the harvest in July, we store our flower bulbs at Amsonia in well-ventilated coolers at temperatures of 17 to 20 degrees Celsius. Ventilation and circulation with fresh air is essential to avoid high concentrations of ethylene, a gas which is produced by bulbs that are attacked by fusarium. High concentrations of ethylene may lead to damage or total abortion of the central sprout. Flower bulbs should be kept in a dry place. Humidity should be controlled at all times and should be not more than 75%. A higher humidity will create an ideal climate for fungus, for example, fusarium and penicillium, to attack the bulbs. This should be avoided at all times. Tulip bulbs will be packed and stored in plastic boxes, providing safety and ventilation during transport and storage. The size of one box is 40 by 60 by 23 centimeters. The weight of one box differs a bit per size and variety, but will average 22 to 23 kilograms. The amount of bulbs per box depends on the size. One pallet holds maximum 45 boxes. Transport, documents and arrival. In general, we sell our flower bulbs ex-works Amsonia Holland. It means that the customer contacts a local transport company and makes agreements about the conditions and date of transport. When your transport company picks up your order in August to September, transport should be done in temperature-controlled trucks at 17 to 20 degrees Celsius with good ventilation and circulation of fresh air. The majority of transport companies requires export documents to make it possible for the driver of the truck to cross the international borders. Amsonia can provide the required documents as long as we receive information at least 1 week before shipment. Most requested documents are invoice, CMR, EX1 and phyto certificate. For some countries, EUR1 is needed. When the flower bulbs arrive at your place, make sure you are ready to receive them. The tulip bulbs should be stored at 17 to 20 degrees Celsius in a dry place with good circulation and good ventilation with fresh air 24/7. Too high temperatures and especially bad ventilation and circulation will have a direct influence on the quality of the bulbs and will result in a less quality production of flowers. If the weather is too hot, and if you don't have the proper storage, please speak to Amsonia and try to delay the transport. Disinfection and cooling. Disinfection of the flower bulbs can be done only in September before the period of cooling starts. However, from our side, we do not recommend disinfection, especially not with aggressive chemicals in high concentrations. Disinfection of the bulbs in November and December after a period of cooling, just before planting, may have dramatic results. At the end of the cooling period, small sprouts may develop and the root base is already very active. Aggressive chemicals can damage or destroy the young tissue of the sprouts or root base if disinfection is applied. This will result in poor rooting, damaged leaves, and overall in a low production. Flowering results from disinfected lots will not be guaranteed by Amsonia. After storage at 17 to 20 degrees Celsius, bulbs need to receive a period of cooling to break the dormancy. This can be done at the customer's place or by Amsonia in Holland. Cooling can be done at 9 degrees Celsius or 5 degrees Celsius. Cooling at 9 degrees Celsius usually is done at the customer's place, with bulbs already planted in boxes or in the soil of the greenhouse. This way, the bulbs receive the majority or all cooling in planted conditions. When cooling takes place at +5 degrees Celsius, the bulbs stay in the boxes which have been received from Amsonia Holland. The boxes will be put in a cooler at 5 degrees Celsius for around 3 months, October, November, December. After the period of cooling, bulbs are planted in the greenhouse. This will be done either in a soil substrate in boxes or directly in the soil of the greenhouse. It is also possible to plant the bulbs on hydro boxes. The optimal period of cooling, 9 degrees Celsius or 5 degrees Celsius, is different for each variety, can vary several weeks. In general, we can divide the varieties in 3 groups: early, middle, late. A longer period of cooling will make the plants taller, the buds smaller, and the speed of growing quicker. A shorter period of cooling will make the growth slower, the plants shorter, and the buds bigger. Please consult Amsonia BV to find out the optimum for each variety. Make sure you control the humidity in the cooler to avoid formation of fungus, penicillium. Humidity in the cooler should not be higher than 85%. Ventilation, especially in the beginning of the cooling period, is essential as the bulbs are still very active. Make sure that around 10% of the air is refreshed each hour. Also provide good circulation of air at all times. Please make sure that the air is equally divided in the cooler to ensure a stable temperature in each corner. Reaching the end of the cooling period, some penicillium on the tulip bulbs may appear. This is harmless and will not influence the production of flowers. If the penicillium is more than you wish, just shower the bulbs with clean water before planting. This shower also will make the young sprouts softer, leading to less damage to the tips of the sprouts during planting. Planting, rooting, and active climate. After the right period of cooling, bulbs can be brought into the greenhouse. Tulips do not require additional light in the winter, and the ideal growing temperature is 12 to 18 degrees Celsius. The period of growing depends on the variety and the temperature in the greenhouse. The planting soil should be airy and have a good drainage. Pure peat is not recommended as a growing substrate, as it includes a risk on an attack of Rhizoctonia to the young sprouts. Try to use a mix with, for example, sand. The EC of the substrate or soil should be around 1.5 and the pH between 6 and 7. Disinfection of the soil, if needed, should be done minimum 6 weeks before planting. At time of planting, make sure chemicals and residues of salts are washed out. Especially high concentrations of nitrates can cause damage to the formation of the young roots. Do not plant bad bulbs attacked by fusarium. Take them out and destroy them. Bulbs with small mechanical damage usually give normal flowers unless the root base is very heavy damaged. If the cooling is done at 5 degrees Celsius and bulbs are planted directly into the greenhouse, it is recommended that the skin is taken off at the bottom of the bulbs to make the rooting in the soil or substrate easier and quicker. This especially for varieties which at time of planting still have a strong unbroken skin around the root base. When doing this, make sure you do not damage the root base. Do create an active climate in the greenhouse. Humidity inside the greenhouse should not fluctuate too much and should stay between 65 to 85%. Make sure you measure this daily. Especially during warm winters, humidity inside may reach values which are too high. Provide ventilation, open windows and doors, and a smooth circulation of air at all times, ventilators. If the air is standing still around your plants, microclimate, and also in your greenhouse, macroclimate, the evaporation and growing of the plant stops. This will result in a retarded growth, and it will increase the risk of diseases and physical disorders like sweating, toppling, and bud drop. Hot air heaters are not recommended to heat the greenhouse. They create big changes in humidity and temperature while switching them on and off. This may lead to problems desiccation of the flowers and leaves of the tulip plants. Some clients cover the boxes or beds with plastic foil or spun bond after planting the bulbs. The idea is that the plants will grow taller by doing this. Amsonia does not advise this at all. Covering boxes or beds after planting will make it difficult for plants to evaporate. This may lead to big problems with sweating and toppling. If you want to have taller plants, please adjust the period of cooling. Important is the formation of good roots. The ideal temperature to make the roots is 7 to 9 degrees Celsius at bulb level. This may take 2 to 3 weeks. After formation of the roots, the temperature in the greenhouse can go up for further development of the plants. The growing temperature in the greenhouse will have a final effect on the quality of the flowers. Higher temperatures in the greenhouse will give quicker growth with less quality. Lower temperatures will give a slower growth and the quality will be better. The majority of the tulip flowers are produced for selling on the 8th of March on International Women's Day. If you foresee that your production will be a little late, you can increase the temperature in the greenhouse. This will lead to a quicker growth. Negative aspect is that it normally leads to less quality plants with a shorter vase life. If you foresee that your production will be a little early, you can reduce the temperature in the greenhouse. In a cooler greenhouse climate, the final quality will be better. Make sure at time of planting, your soil or substrate has a basic level of nutrients. Additional fertilization has a small effect on the final quality of the flowers due to the short period of growing. Therefore, it is important to use flower bulbs with a good basic amount of nutrients inside. After the formation of the roots, you can add some extra fertilizers, mainly calcium, to reduce the risk of sweating, toppling, etc. In general, flower bulbs produced on clay soils have a better amount of nutrients and vigor than bulbs produced on sandy soils. Majority of varieties that Amsonia is offering are from the most fertile clay soils. If you give water to the tulip plants, make sure that your water gift meets the needs of the plant. If the soil or substrate is still humid, watering is not needed. Please first check the soil or substrate at bulb level before watering. Only give water when needed. Too much watering will lead to dying of the roots and will increase the chance on a pythium attack on the roots. Plants without roots or poor roots will give a bad production or no production at all. Plants may remain short. Hydroculture. More and more tulip flowers are being produced on water in special hydro boxes. Just as in the other forcing methods, the tulip bulbs being forced hydroponically have to receive a cold period. It is possible to make the cooling period a few days shorter, as the plants tend to grow a bit taller in a hydroculture, especially for varieties that are already XXL size. Rooting can be done at 5 to 7 degrees Celsius. Please use clean water with a pH of around 6 and EC of 1.5 to 1.8. It is important to refresh the water in the hydro boxes 2 or 3 times, especially in the first month after planting. This is to avoid high concentrations of phenolin and bacteria in the water. It may occur that some bulbs within the hydro box don't root. These bulbs will start to ferment, a process where air bubbles, foam, can be found around the bulbs. Please take out those bulbs from the hydro box. If you do not remove the brown outer skin from the tulip bulbs, phenolin from this skin may enter the water. High concentrations of phenolin will lead to short roots with brown tips. If the roots remain in the same water too long, the concentration of bacteria may cause rotting of the roots, bacterial slime growth. This produces a strong penetrating odor. Poor rooting will result in less length of the tulips and will lead to more problems with diseases and physical disorders like toppling and sweating. Healthy roots are 3 to 5 centimeters in length and white in color. If you see that the roots of one variety are a bit short and turn brown, refresh the water directly. Within 1 or 2 weeks, the roots will start growing again and turn back to white. An option to keep the water more free from phenolin and bacteria is to add a small percentage of peroxide to the water. The greenhouse climate in the hydroculture is rather similar compared to the production in soil or on boxes with a soil substrate. As the bulbs in a hydroculture grow a bit quicker, it is possible to maintain a temperature inside the greenhouse, which is 1 or 2 degrees Celsius lower than when growing on soil or substrate. The biggest potential problem that may occur in a hydroculture is sweating and toppling of the tulip plants. Both are a result of a too high humidity in the air around the plants and in the air of the greenhouse. Sufficient ventilation and good circulation of the air inside the greenhouse will mix the air in your micro and macroclimate and will reduce the humidity. If you have problems to keep the humidity between the 65 to 85% and it is going up, there is only one option: extra heating with more open windows. This will cost extra energy, but it will help to dry the crop. This method may be needed in a period of rain and high humidity outside. As the hydro boxes are used for several years, it is very important to disinfect the boxes after the growing season. This can be done with high-pressure steam cleaning, followed by spraying the boxes with a chemical like Jet 5 or a hydrogen peroxide. Clean the inside as well as the outside. Quality tulips make a happy customer. Good quality tulips will have a good vase life. It will make it easier to store and sell the flowers after cutting. Lower temperatures in the greenhouse in general will give a slower growth and a better quality. This will also show after cutting in the vase life. Some varieties are more suitable for long storage. Other varieties open up quickly and are less suitable for longer storage. If you cut the flowers, make nice bunches of equal quality. Put them as quick as possible in the cooler at +2 degrees Celsius. Make sure that the flowers are transported to the wholesale or retail in temperature-controlled trucks at about +2 Celsius. Provide good packing which doesn't damage the flowers. Instruct your buyer how he or she should store and treat the flowers. Create happy customers, as a happy customer will buy again flowers next time. After the selling, clean your greenhouse. Take out the old parts of the plants, including the bulbs. Disinfect your soil and make your greenhouse ready for the next planting. These guidelines are just a brief summary of the main issues concerning growing of tulip flowers. If you're looking for additional information, please consult Amsonia. Our team is ready to assist you where and when we can. Amsonia, guaranteed quality since 2002.